Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Ayodhya Kand, chapter number 70. Bharata returns to Ayodhya. The recital begins now. He was yet speaking when the envoys from Ayodhya entered the impregnable Rajagriha upon horses trembling with fatigue and exhaustion, born of fast and furious riding. They paid their respects to the king of Kekeya and placed before Yodhyajit, their heir apparent, the presents they had brought with them. When he had duly rewarded them, they turned to Bharata, touched his feet, and said, Lord, the high priest Maharishi Vasistha and the other counselors make kind and respectful enquiries of you. They directed us to say to you, come back to Ayodhya without any moment's delay, as an important affair requires your presence here. Select what you approve of the dresses and ornaments we send you, and hand over 20 crores worth to your grandsire and 10 crores worth to your uncle. Bharata did so and entertained the messengers with extreme kindness and hospitality. Then he asked them, My sire, is it all well with him? Is it all well with the great ones Rama and Lakshmana? I hope Queen Kaushalya does well, the happy mother of Rama, the very soul of wisdom. She is the deserving object of my respect in every way. Blind to the defects of others, she is as keenly appreciative of everything good in them. While conversant with the mysteries of Dharma, she practices them to the best of her ability. Is it all well with Queen Sumitra, she that bore Lakshmana and Shatrughna? And is it all well with my mother Kaikeyi, ever selfish, cruel-eyed, liable to sudden fits of anger, and supremely self-conceited? What message bore you from her to her people here? The messengers saw that Bharata had some faint conception of the real state of things at Ayodhya and hastened to disabuse him by the prompt reply, Lord, everything is well with those whose welfare you have ever at your heart. Everything good and auspicious awaits you there. It is time for us to start. They gave him a general assurance of the welfare of his people, afraid to wake his suspicions by a detailed news of his friends and kin. It was with the purpose that they used the words good and auspicious, for they wished to ward off all evil and ill omen from him, and gave him a faint hint of his approaching greatness, but they succeeded in keeping back from him any mention of the doings at Ayodhya. Then Bharata sought his grandsire and said, The messengers from Ayodhya would have me start at once. Pray give me leave. I will be with you whenever you may desire my presence here. The lord of Kekeya embraced him warmly, kissed him on his head, and said, Darling, I wish you a happy journey. Fortunate is Kaikeyi that bore you. Convey my kind enquiries to her, to Dasharatha, to Maharishi Vasistha, to the other saintly Brahmanas, and last not least, to the heroic princes Rama and Lakshmana. He spoke his high appreciation of Bharata's manifold excellences, presented him with elephants of noble breed, shawls of rare workmanship, and curiously prepared deerskins, 2,000 nishkas to grace the breast, and 1,600 steeds. He called to him faithful counselors and noble and said, Go with Bharata and see that these things reach Ayodhya safe. Yodhyajit, his uncle, presented him with numerous elephants from Mounts Iravat and Indrasiras, mules skillfully trained and fleet as wind or thought, and besides many noble hounds, carefully bred and trained in the royal apartments of immense strength and endurance. They were fiercer than tigers. Armed with formidable spear-like fangs, their exquisite symmetry of form and development masked their huge chest and limbs. But Bharata, absorbed with the thought of going back to Ayodhya as soon as possible, delighted not in the rich and curious presents. The unusual haste and solicitude that marked the action of the messengers deepened the gloom and anxiety bred of his evil dream. He took hasty leave of his grandsire and uncle, and with Shatrughna by his side, soon left the city far behind. His attendants followed him in chariots drawn by camels, bullocks, horses, and mules. Like bands of devas marching forth from the capital of Indra, Bharata and Shatrughna journeyed on towards Ayodhya, surrounded by the armies of Kekeya. Mangalam Kushlendraya Mahaniya Gunapte Chakravarti Dhanurjaya Sarvabhaumaye Mangalam.